God has a bigger plan for you, and we are about to expose what that plan is, how to decipher it, how to move towards it. But first, let me give you proof that he does have a bigger plan for you. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to visualize the color red. See it as vividly as you possibly can inside of your mind. You can see the color red, right? Now visualize the color blue. You can also see that. Now visualize a color that's never existed before and see it. Go. You can't. Why? Because it's never existed and you've never seen it before. Let's try this. Close your eyes and visualize your fridge. Go. You can see your fridge. Now close your eyes and visualize your car. You can see your car. So if we could only visualize things that we've seen before, why do you have visions of you lowering your body fat, getting in better shape, becoming the man you were always meant to become? Why can you see so clearly you landing that dream job, being looked at with admiration from others? Why can you see visions of yourself accomplishing all your goals, getting that dream relationship? Why can you see it so vividly even though you don't have it and you've never had it before? It's because it already exists. Those visions you have is God showing you your potential. Albert Einstein once said, our thoughts are a preview of life's coming attractions. So if you could see it, you can be it. But that doesn't mean you sit around and do nothing. So in this video, now that you have a deep understanding that, look, it's possible, it's there for you, I'm gonna reveal God's plan for you specifically because you're ready. You're ready to see it. You're ready to step into that new identity, that dream life God has planned for you. And I'm going to show you how to do that, what your next steps need to be so you can have that clarity. So this video is going to serve as the master key to unlocking God's plan for you. So the very first thing you have to understand is, now that you understand, God has this plan for you, you need to know how to move towards it, right? Because it should be exciting. When you hear that, you're like, oh crap, he's right. He's right, I never thought of it like that. I do have these visions. That must mean it's possible for me. So the very first thing that you need to do is get a clear understanding of what just excited you. What just excited you 30 seconds ago when I said those things? What did you have in your mind? You're gonna break it into 3 parts, right? Because if you can't get specific about what it is you want from life, you're never gonna have it. It's not possible. The more clear you can paint the image God's put in your brain, the quicker you can manifest and acquire your dream reality, the quicker you can step into your new identity. Because for most of us, we want to become better. We want to become better, right? And sometimes we'll take action to become better. But what happens? We lose track. We get confused. We don't know our next steps. I'm going to show you how to fix that immediately. You need to break these visions that you're having into 3 pillars, right? I'm going to show you what to do. You want personal, you want professional, and you want financial. So what you're seeing here is goals, right? Because the visions of you becoming better, what is that really? It's your goals. It's what you want from life, right? So we need to quantify those goals and make them real. And as we go through this process, I want you to understand how our brains are wired. When you start to dream big, the first things our brains are trained to do is think about why we can't have those things. Yeah, but, my family's never been rich, so I can't be rich. My family has bad genetics, so I can't get jacked. I've never had a 10 out of 10 girlfriend, so I just can't get one. These are called limiting beliefs, and they're not real. They're things that we create in our mind that holds us back from actually acquiring this dream life. Because if you look at everyone who has the things you want, there was one trait they had that you didn't. They believed they could. So understanding this is how the mind works, let's control our minds and just focus on how we can as we go through this exercise. So you want to quantify these things into personal, professional, and financial, okay? Let's, for this exercise, say over the next year, what you want in these categories. So personal could be anything from, maybe you want a relationship. Maybe you want to get to 10% body fat. Maybe you want to have a deeper connection with God. These are personal things that you want. And as you go through you thinking about what you want, I want you to pretend like you're the only person on earth. You're the only one, right? And you get to create your dream life from scratch. You're Adam. You're the firstborn son of God, okay? There's no mom's ideas in your head, your boss's ideas in your head, your girlfriend's ideas in your head. I want you to think for yourself. Don't think about what they would want from you. Think about what you would want, and don't feel any shame or guilt here. Because the intentions, the things you want from life, were put there by God. Those feelings of the things that you want that you might feel a little bit guilty about, you shouldn't, because God put it there and He wants it for you too. So as you do this exercise, it's just you and God, okay? So let me give you an example. Get 10% body fat. And in fact, sorry guys, let me lock this. This is making a lot of noise here. Let me lock the wheels on this thing because I'm going to go running away on us. Okay, get to 10% body fat, and I know my writing is literally chicken scratch, but just deal with it, okay? Get to 10% body fat. Get into a relationship. This is over the next year, right? Get into a relationship, build connection with God. Move to new city. These are personal goals. These are things that you might personally want in your life, right? So as you're watching me write this out, what I want you to do is I want you to take notes. So either pull up a Google Doc, go in your notes on your phone, and start writing this stuff out. Because it's going to be very important for you to see this stuff every single day. So while you're here, start thinking, okay, what are the things I want with my body, with my relationship? Start to think about those things, okay? Don't be guilty. It's okay to want things that you might think you shouldn't want. Now, professional is, what do you want to do with your career, right? What do you want to do for a living? So maybe you like your job right now, and one of your goals is to get promoted to CEO. Maybe you want to start crypto portfolio. Maybe you want to buy real estate and get into that. Maybe you want to start that business you always want to start a biz. These are professional goals. And the more of these that you can write out, the quicker you're going to manifest your dream reality. Okay? So write all these things that you want out. Next, financial. What do you want to do with the money? And let me explain one thing very quickly. People think money is evil, money is evil. You only hear broke people say this. Money is not evil, okay? It's the love of money that's evil, because God says don't worship false gods. That is sin. And when you put the money over your own goals, over your relationship with God, then it's evil. But God He birthed you to have an abundant life. Abundance is our birthright. We were born to have abundance. We weren't born to suffer. We were born to be rich. Look at Job, right? Job in the Bible, he was very wealthy. So what do you want to do with the money? Maybe you want to retire mom. Maybe you want to take your girl on vacation. Maybe you want to buy a nice car, right? Write all these things out. What do you want to do with the money? Okay? And you know what you want deep down. You know what you want. You've just never thought about it on this deep of a level and actually quantified it. Now, this is not going to be like, okay, I know everything I want in a second. No, you have to really, really think about this stuff, right? This is your life. And God gave us free will, which means we have the power to create our reality. Okay, but we also have the power to destroy our reality. You get to decide. So knowing that we have the power to create any reality that we want, we need to know what the reality is so we can start creating it, right? So write out your personal, professional, and financial goals over the next year. But whatever you do when you're doing this, shatter all limitations. Pretend like anything is possible. I want you to think about yourself as like a 5-year-old watching a Disney movie when you're doing this, okay? Dream big. I know it's gonna seem silly, but you don't have to focus on the how you're gonna get these things. You need to focus on what you want, and this is where God comes in, right? When you put your faith in God that his plan is the best, all you need to worry about is what you want, not how you're gonna get it, okay? So, write out all of your goals. Start writing them out. So now you know God has a plan for you, and you know the things you want. But now you know the things you want on a deeper level. So now you're excited. You've got these goals. You know it's God's plan. It's written. It's destined. You could see it, which means it's already done. This doesn't mean you sit on your ass and be lazy. Now you need to take action. And this is where I see a lot of people fall. So I'm going to explain how we take action. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So I'm going to give you one of the personal, one of the professional, and one of the financial, and I'm going to give you an example of how you could take action on those things, right? So let's say for the personal, we had lose 10 pounds. Jesus. Oh boy, what a disaster. Lose 10 pounds, fellas. Lose 10 pounds, right? So that's great. That's great that we have the goal, but how the hell do you do it? Well, you want to reverse engineer it, right? You want to ask yourself, what are some things that I could do every single day that's sustainable for me long term, that I know if I do them every day, I get closer to this goal? We want to take the outcome, right, which you just got clear on by writing out your goals, and turn them into daily actions that are so simple to follow that your path to success becomes inevitable. We want to guarantee success, and you already know success is guaranteed because you know God put the vision there for you, which means it's already yours. All you have to do is this. What I'm about to show you is this. It's the street leading to your goals. That's what we're about to show you. So lose 10 pounds. How do we turn that into, instead of I want to lose 10 pounds, to all I have to do is this thing every day and I lose 10 pounds? Every day, if I walk 10K steps, that's one of the inputs I could track every single day. And I guarantee you, if I walk 10,000 steps every single day, eventually I'll lose the 10 pounds. Simple, right? Because now, when you think about the 10 pounds, it's overwhelming. It's like, okay, yes, I want to lose the 10 pounds, but how am I going to do it? Well, why don't I have it yet? Why don't I have it yet? And when you think like that, that's where people quit. But when you think, oh, if all I did was walk 10K steps every day, I'm going to eventually lose the 10 pounds, then it's so easy to get you to your desired reality. And these are not things that you have to rush, right? Everyone's like, I need to get this goal by this time. But here's the thing. We don't get to dictate when things happen. That's God's timing. We don't have to worry about the how. We have to worry about what can we control right now and relinquish the rest of the control to God, right? And we do that by tracking daily inputs. Let me give you another example, right? Let me erase this one and show you another example. All right, so that's an example of a personal goal, right? And I'm not going to write this, but okay, let's say you want to build a closer connection with God. What can you do? You can read the Bible for 5 minutes a day. You can do one prayer every day and track that input. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do. 5 minutes a day. You don't have to think, oh, I got to read the whole Bible. I got to go to church. I got to pray. No. Pick one thing that you can do long term, that you can do. Not what someone else could do that seems easy to other people. What can you do every day, sustainably, for a long period of time? Because that's what's going to get you results in anything. It's the consistency aspect that gets you there, right? Let's say one of your professional goals is to, I'll use what most people do. Maybe you want to get a raise, whatever that means for you at your job, right? You want to move up, you want to get promoted into another position. Well, in your head, you're probably like, well, I have to be the best employee in the world and all this overtime and all this. Okay, That's cool, but that's going to stress you out. It's going to lead to anxiety. You're going to burn out, and you're not going to make any progress. Let's quantify it. Get a raise. If you want to get a raise, you probably know what the role ahead of you does, right? So I'm going to give you a stupid little example. Again, I don't know anything about your job, but this is what I would say. An input you can track is first 3 hours of work I do my top 5 tasks. Let me explain. If you want to get a raise, you probably have certain things that you do at your job every day. Some of them are more important than others, right? Some of the tasks are more important. If you the night before simply wrote out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 most important tasks you know you need to get done tomorrow at work, whether that's email X person, send this, call him, meet him, talk to her. Stupid example, right? But let's say you have 5 things you know you need to get done tomorrow, and they're the most 5 high leverage things you need to do that day. You would spend the first 3 hours of your day knocking these off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you have the whole rest of the day at work to be an overachiever, an overperformer, right? So instead of worrying about the how, just focus on, okay, what's the 5 things I need to do tomorrow that are the most important thing that actually move the needle forward in my role? Get those done. That's the first thing you do when you get to work. Boom. I knock off my most important task. Now you have the rest of the day to be an overperformer and to give extra help to people, and the raise is inevitable. It's inevitable. Think about how many people are showing up to work and they're scrolling for the first 3 hours of work. They barely even work until lunchtime. You know how much you'd stand out if you just did something simple like this? But this is something that you can focus on. This is a daily thing. Oh, every night I just write out 5 things. This way, when I get to work, I don't have to think about what I need to do. I could just get to work and go. Boom. Now you're moving the needle forward. Now, I'm gonna give you one more. Let's say we talked about personal, professional. Let's say financial. One of your goals is to, let's say, buy a watch. You want to buy a watch and it costs $10K, right? You want to buy a $10,000 watch, okay? Instead of worrying about how am I going to get the watch, you would do this. You would figure out, when do I want it? Do I want it this week? Do I want it next month? Do I want it next year? Right? Figure out a realistic time frame that you think maybe you can get it. And then all you would do is set up auto transfers from your deposit account, like your checking account from work, into a new account, and you get there. So let's say you want to get the watch in 10 weeks from now. All you would do is set up an account with automatic transfers that's sending 1,000 a week, and in 10 weeks you'd have the watch. It's not a matter of like, would I get the watch? It's guaranteed. In 10 weeks you'd have the money. So obviously you know your budget, you know what you can afford, but instead of worrying about, I want to get the watch when I get to this point, you say to yourself, oh, if I put away $1,000 a week for the next 10 weeks, could I afford that? Would I be able to get the watch then? Oh, okay, cool. You get the watch. It's so simple, right? Don't think about the outcomes. The outcomes of the thing that you want, that's up to God. But God calls you to act. You'll feel internal nudges. They say a gut feeling. That is God telling you what to do. When you feel a call to do something, don't put it off. The quicker you can act on that, oh, I feel like I should do this, that's God telling you. And the quicker you act on those things, the quicker you compress this time frame. Now I'm going to get to a key point that you need to understand. Now you know God has a plan for you. You know how to quantify that plan. And now you know how daily inputs, right? And you need to track the daily inputs, right? This holds you accountable. Because as you're learning to track, to focus on these daily inputs, it's new to you. So in the beginning, you need to track it until you become accustomed to it. So whether that's in your Notes app, or you get a Notion dashboard, or you get a coach that holds you accountable on these things and sets you up with a perfect system for you to track your daily indicators, right? Figure it out. You want to run your life somewhat like a business while still enjoying life. But there's something I want you to understand. Throughout this whole process, your brain's going to keep telling you, I can't. We're wired this way. But I want you to think about, what is the currency? What is the cost of this dream life, right? What is the cost? What do I have to spend to get this dream life? Here's the equation, okay? Tension plus energy equals God's purpose for you. Your attention plus energy equals God's purpose for you. You need to begin an upward spiral in your life. Let this video serve as the turning point for you, okay? Your life keeps happening to you and not for you, right? So it's a mindset shift. The reason negative spirals occur is because something bad happens, and then what happens? You focus all your attention, I'm saying attention and energy in the same word. You put all your attention on the negative thing that happened. I'm gonna give you an example. Everybody knows this guy, right? Guy's girlfriend dumps him. He can't stop focusing and thinking about how she dumped him, and now he's like all depressed and stuff, right? So what does he do? He slacks off at work because he's just so out of it, he's so depressed, because he's putting all his attention, aka his energy, into what just happened. So now he's slacking off at work. Boom, gets fired from his job. Now his girlfriend dumped him, he got fired from his job, and the only things he could focus on is that his girlfriend dumped him and he got fired from his job. Therefore, he feels depressed. All that negative energy turns into him drinking. 3 bad things just happen. That's why bad things come in 3. But you can break this cycle, and the same way a negative cycle works, so does an upward. So everything I just laid out, you hitting those daily inputs every day is the beginning of your upward cycle, right? It's the girlfriend breaking up with you. It's that version, but in a good sense towards your goals, right? It's an upward cycle. And you'll notice when you start to hit those daily inputs, it's like, oh, I did one good thing today. What other good things can I do? You start to look for the good and not the bad. Where attention goes, energy flows. And energy is the currency to achieve your dream life. Let me blow your mind again. Okay, I know you're loving this. Let me blow your mind again. How would you describe energy? How would you describe energy? It has no form. It always exists. It cannot be created or destroyed. It's omnipresent. It's always there, right? How would you describe God? It's always been, can't be created or destroyed. It's always there. God is energy. And God created us in his image. Therefore, we have a piece of God inside of us, which means we have the ability to create our life the way God created the earth. With our energy. Our energy is God. Okay, does that make sense? So you need to protect your energy. Protect your energy. Let me say this again. Protect your energy. Where attention goes, energy flows. It's a river. So where you put your attention, right? So if you focus on why you can't, you won't move forward. But if you only look for why you can, you will move forward. Let me give you another analogy. Without looking, how many blue items are in your room right now? You probably don't know. Now take a second and count them all. I'll give you like 10 seconds. Go count all the blue items in your room. Go ahead, count them. Probably more than you thought, right? Why didn't you notice them before? Because you weren't looking for them, right? What you look for, you will find. You will find it, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. So you always want to look towards the dream life, towards the positive thing. And you're going to have negative thoughts. You're going to think about why you can't, but you always have the power to control. You can accept or reject any idea. Did you know that? Did you know that? You can accept or reject any idea. Really think about it. Somebody tells you something, you don't have to accept it. If the news comes out tomorrow and says everything is doom and gloom, the world is ending, everything's bad, you can literally just close your phone and not accept that. Not in my world, not in my world, not in my world. You don't want to accept any thoughts or ideas that take power away from you. God gave you power, but the devil will come in and he'll try and tell you all these things. Oh, but remember that time you failed? Remember when this person did this to you? Oh, no, you're never going to be all these things. You think you can actually have those things? That is Satan. But guess what? You can't have faith and fear in the same breath. You can't. It's not possible. So just have faith. Focus on what you can. You can rewire your mind. And I'm going to close out with this image that I constantly show because it is so important, and this is going to give you a new understanding of why you've been stuck to this point and why you're going to reach your dreams. This is the final point, and it's so important. I'm going to draw something for you, okay? I know I've said this before. If you're new here, please pay attention, okay? This is so important. Now that you understand everything I've just told you, right? This is our cycles of life, okay? We're each in a cycle of life. We go through seasons and patterns. If you want to take on the new identity God has presented to you, you have to become somebody new. You know, it sounds like a lot of work, but I promise you it's not. This is how we work. This is how we work as human beings, okay? What we think turns into an emotion, feeling. That emotion turns into an action. Your action turns into a result, and that result turns into a reinforced belief. So this is our belief system, right? Now I'll give you an example. Let's use the fitness example. You have a thought. Let's say that thought is, I'm genetically cursed. I don't stand a chance to get in shape. No one in my family's been in shape. I'm doomed. You know, no matter what I try, it doesn't work. Not for me. You thinking that is going to lead to you feeling unmotivated. It's going to lead to you feeling down on yourself. It's going to lead to you thinking very negatively and feeling very negatively about yourself. So what do you think if you're feeling negatively, if you don't even believe it can happen, how do you think you're going to show up when it's time to act, when it's time to go to the gym, when it's time to track your meals? You're not going to put your full effort into the gym. You're not going to try your very hardest. You're not going to commit. So as a result of your action being subpar, you're going to get a shit result. The result you thought you were going to get in the first place, which reinforces the belief. See, I knew it was my genetics. No, it was never your genetics. It was the way you were thinking. Right? So when I said you can accept or reject any idea, you see why it's so important. Everything I've just programmed into your brain, rewatch this video 10 times. Comment on this video if you're understanding what I'm saying. It's so important that you understand the way this works, because awareness is your weapon. The second you become aware of this, you're in full control of your brain. You have God's image, you know what to do. You're ready. So if you think positively, the whole thing changed. No one in my family is genetically blessed, but I know if I work hard enough and put the right inputs in, I can get in incredible shape. I can get to 10% body fat. Guess what that's going to do? You're going to feel motivated. You're going to feel inspired. You're going to feel it. When you take action, you're going to put your all into that action. You're going to give it 100%. And you're going to get the result you want. You're going to get the 10% body fat, and you're going to see, whoa, anything I do, I think and I say, I can do it. I can do it. This is how you build confidence. Remember I said the way bad things come in threes? When you master this, bad things good things start to roll in. Upward cycle. So apply everything I said. Please study this stuff. Go back, take notes. And I put my Instagram in the description. If you have questions about this stuff, shoot me a DM. I answer all of my DMs. Let's talk about it. I'm more than happy to help you. And if you want one-on-one help, learning how to master your reality and get in incredible shape and just master your mind, get closer to God, then hit the link in the description and book a call with me. And I'll work with you. But look, if you like this video, man, if this was helpful for you, drop a like. Helps with the algorithm. Let's get this out to people who need this. All right? I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. Peace.